And speaking of that opportunity, you did this very quickly. I know I talk about Alchemist, and our story was, we weren't around. You talked about 2016. I had no idea what HubSpot was in 2016. Not even a clue. So, I probably have seen it somewhere randomly. But in reality, going to Elite that fast that's not a coin flip. What was you don't have to give the trade secrets, but what are the trade secrets?
Yeah. So this is the beauty to, I think, building a following before you build a business is, good people know other good people and will tend to, stay in touch with you no matter where you go. Hence why, like, Max, when you were at HubSpot, like we kept in touch. I mean, Dax and you and I have known each other for a while now. And so good people will follow good people. What I found was, like, I became a HubSpot partner in July of 2021. And so July 2021, May 2022, we hit Diamond, which was a crazy lift. I mean, it was insane. But what we found was the managed credit aspect of that tier partnership was easy for me because I already had all of it from my freelancing gigs. I already had access to all these portals. So literally just like me flipping to the workflow.co domain, and then we get all the managed credit. So all I had to do from there was sell HubSpot, which, and again, people can take this with a grain of salt. It's not that hard if you sell it the right way. I mean, HubSpot can pretty much sell itself in terms of the value that it can provide to a business. And so I leaned more into the partner resources, where this is where the community was able to really be the catalyst for me getting to those next tiers. Because as I was solving for, customer use cases in the community, I was getting DMs, I was getting private messages from people saying like, hey, like, can you do a re-architecture of my account, or like audit this, audit that? And then I was just going into cross-selling and upselling mode, right?
Yeah.
And then from there, it was just building relationships. It was building relationships with the existing CSMs. It was building relationships with growth specialist teams, building relationships with the other app partners. And from there, that yielded success. I think I echo the fact that I partnered with really good people to get me to where I am. And that's really the reason why I'm here.
Yeah, everybody's people, man. That's the main thing. I mean, I know, even shout out to the Grow Happily Partner Program. We definitely met. I know I've thrown some stuff over the fence, and I'm comfortable doing that. Since everything is about the people, and people want to buy and work with because you become a member of the team. As an agency, from my back in the day consulting, you're either a part of the team or you're like a vendor. You don't want to be a vendor.
Yeah. The one thing I want you to dig into, Crystal, that I thought was interesting is, I think maybe you didn't say it this way, but you said like selling's not that difficult, right? Like or said something else. You mentioned selling was important, right? Because I think what is it? It's like sold MRR and managed MRR or something like that, right? So it's like net new MRR you're bringing to the table, and then how much MRR you're managing is in like you're doing work for an existing customer, right? What is that like? How do you approach that sales side of like the new MRR? And what I'm asking here is like, do you find yourself or your team playing the role of like the HubSpot software AE, right? And actually selling the software and the services together, versus how much do you put that on your AE that you're working with at HubSpot to actually do the selling of the software? Or are you talking to customers that are like net new to you and having the conversation around what they need, so when they get to the AE or your CAM or whoever, I don't know exactly how, who you talk to purchase stuff, that it's just like, hey man, we already talked about it. This is exactly what they need. Just go ahead and put the contract together and like make it happen. Like, how are you guys like approaching that piece? And I know a lot of people do it differently, right? So I'd like to hear your unique take on it.
Yeah. So a key thing, especially if you're a new partner listening to this, is focus on solution selling. And so the way that we sell HubSpot and other software, like even like Happily products included, like when I demo Zebra, this is the exact way that I do it, is we show how the software is a solution for the pain points of the lead. And so it's not demoing all possible functionality that, the platform can do. It's great to show that, but if certain functions are not applicable towards that lead's need, they don't really need to see it. And so really it's just improving yourself as a partner who can find a solution via these avenues to help solve for that customer. And that's really what HubSpot's, mantra is, solve for the customer, grow better together, things like that. And so we kind of run our sales independently outside of the AE, which kind of makes it easy for the growth specialist, because we'll manage the sales process because it's a lot more valuable for the solutions implementer, right?
Mhm.
That knows what they're going to do with the actual purchase to show you how it's going to look versus someone that sells it that's not going to implement it.